Okay, am I visible to you now? Can you see me?
I think like you, right now you are not visible. Uh,
Just hold for a second, or it may be just because this application has some glitch.
yeah,
Like instantly, you are
yes.
not getting.
Okay, now I can see you. Now you are visible.
Okay, that's great. So you started recording. That's really great. And as this is the first time I'm talking to you, I want you to introduce yourself. So would you mind if you tell
Okay,
me
okay.
something about yourself?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so first of all, thank you very much for giving me the chance to talk about myself. I'm Kamal Soren and I'm from Jharkhand, Goda district. If I talk about my qualifications, so I have done my graduation, and apart from my study, I'm also teaching in a private school, as well as I have a YouTube channel related to English conversation named English Talk with Kamal. So this is all about me. Now I would also love to know from your side about you.
Well,
Okay.
delighted to hear that about your introduction. And secondly, let me introduce myself. Well, my name is Shiv. I born and brought up in India, and my native place is Uttarakhand. I'm a central government employee. As far as my academic qualification concerned, I'm done with my master in English, master in commerce, and this year I'm pursuing my master in economics. This is my final year. And in addition to this, I do teach English to beginners and intermediate speakers through online applications. And I do have my own YouTube channel by the name of English with Teachership. So this is all from my side. If you want to know something else, please feel free to ask.
Yeah. So it was really a very great introduction, and you are doing very great job. Like you are teaching, right? Spoken English to the beginner students.
Yes,
Yeah, and
exactly.
like you deserve. Like, yeah, you are a very good teacher. I think like because I can see that you speak very good English. Many people try to speak English, okay, and they are
Thanks.
teaching also English spoken, but they themselves are not speaking like you. So it is really admirable, adorable. Okay.
Thanks for your kind words. I would accept it as a compliment, and thanks for your gratitude once more. So now, if you have any question for me that you want to ask, please feel free to ask any question.
Okay, okay. I should ask you because you are English teacher and you have been teaching English for a very long time, and you already speak a very good English. Okay, so you deserve like you are the true teacher for spoken English student. Okay, so if there is any kind of student, okay, and he wants to learn spoken English, okay, so what kind of courses like do you give them? Like for 3 months, 4 months, okay. So you have to guide according to them, okay. Like for first month, like what kind of things should he study if he wants to learn from the very scratch, okay, and after first the completion of first month, like in second month, third month, okay, like what kind of things should he follow and where should he practice and everything about, okay, so that those students can also follow those guys. Yeah.
First of all, I'm really thankful to you that you have asked me this beautiful question. And now let me reply this question. So, guys, whenever it comes to learning a language, and especially when it comes to English, if we want to master this language, all we have to do is we have to follow these steps which I'm about to speak now. Number one, we all are Indians, and English is not our native language. So, if you are trying to master it, and while learning this language, if you are making any mistake, we shouldn't feel ashamed about it. Because we are not born with this language. We are fumbling, struggling. We should not think like I should be that much perfect as native speakers have in this language. Now, second thing,
Yeah.
before starting your journey of learning this language, you must ask one question to yourself: that why? Why do you want to learn this
Yes.
language? Like, do you have any powerful reason to master this language? Yes or no? If you have, so you can go in a very good flow. If you don't have, just try to find out a very powerful reason for yourself in order to learn this language, right?
Correct.
Because that
Yeah.
powerful reason will teach you, guide you, motivate you, inspire you, in order to be focused on your spoken English rather in any useless stuff. Now, rule number three is words. You have to enhance your vocabularies as much as possible, which means you have to learn at least one or two vocab on a daily basis and try to incorporate the same vocabs in your spoken English. And I would say that car without fuel is useless, and gun without bullets is useless. Similarly, your English is incomplete without ample vocabs. So try to enhance
Yeah.
it. Now, fourth rule is we should not obsess with grammar rules. When I'm saying grammar, it means uh, nowadays many time people are literally bother about their grammar. They feel that I don't know grammar. How can I speak English? It's not true. It's just a myth. I haven't learned grammar in my entire life, honestly speaking, and I can speak though I'm not good enough, but still I can manage to some extent. So rather focusing on your grammar in your initial state, just try to focus on your flow and confidence, which means like you should reach on that position where you can speak English with anyone around the world without hesitation and shyness. Once you reach on that level, then after you can work on your accuracy, it means in grammar, right? But don't try to
Correct.
get a trap of grammar in initial stage. Now, rule number six is practice. Without practice, you can't even expect any kind of improvement in your spoken English. Do practice on a regular basis. Be consistent towards your practice because the more you are going to practice this language, the sooner you are going to master it. And I would say practice should be a focus practice where you need to work on your flaws and your weak points. Right? Now, next point is love your mistakes, which means like we are often afraid of making mistake. We have a phobia of making mistake. We think, oh God, this language is new for me and I'm new to this language. If I'll speak English and I'll make any mistake anywhere at any point, people are going to laugh at me and they are going to make fun of me. So let them think whatever they want to think because their thought process is nothing to do with your journey of learning this language. You have to remember your goal, like why you are learning this language, and make mistake as much as possible for you because we all are human beings. For humans, mistakes are allowed. I want everyone to embrace his mistake and work on it. And the moment you are going to rectify your mistake by your own self, you are going to speak English like a flawless speaker, right? Now, next point is English speaking environment. What does it mean? Simple means you have to surround yourself with this language. All you need to do that you have to fall in love with this language. You have to accept this language as your friend. And only this language is going to accept you as a friend and you are going to become friend of each other. So you have to familiar yourself with this language. And for that, just try to talk with your family in English, talk with your siblings in English, with your friends, with your society, people who are living in your society and those who are your neighbor. As much as possible, try to create a surrounding for English, right? Even though you are at your home, try to talk to yourself in English. If you are going to kitchen or for having a glass of water, so before drinking that glass of water, you have to think in your mind that I'm going to kitchen in order to drink a glass of water. This is how you have to practice it at your home only. And next, I would say LRWS, which means listening, reading, writing, and speaking. These are four modules for uh, you can say pillars of English. Listening, which means like listening to podcasts, audiobooks, native speakers, English speakers, good trainers. The more you are going to listen authentic speakers, the better you can learn from them. Right? Reading, which means you have to read at least one page in one day, because the more you are going to read, the better you can accumulate information in your mind and you are going to process it the moment you have to speak something. Writing, I would suggest you to write everything, whatever you have done since morning to night. It's kind of journal. There, you can improve your accuracy, like grammar. You can use your vocabs that you have been learning so far, and you're not going to forget any vocab because you are habituated to use in while writing writing. Last but not least, speaking, which we are doing right now, like I'm talking to you, you are talking to me, in the same way you have been talking to many people on this application. All right, so do it because speaking can be learned by speaking only. Without jumping the water, you can't even get the high depth of that water. If you want to learn swimming, you
Yes,
have
yes.
to jump into the water, then only you can learn swimming. By reading book of swimming, you can't even learn it, right? Now, last but not least, I want you to use different platforms, online platforms in order to learn this language. There are so many applications available in Play Store. And you should forget about procrastination. People are often doing a mistake that they are taking a lot of suggestion, tips, and tricks from different mentors and professionals, but when it comes to implementation and ground, they are totally failed. They are not going to execute all those steps. So without implementation, how can you learn it, isn't it? Keep patience, enjoy the process of your learning, be confident, and develop a very strong self-belief system in your side. And I'm sure sooner or later you're going to master this language. I'm done.
Yeah, it was okay. Okay, it was really a very great advice from your side. Like whatever you said, it is like totally true, and I also think like that. Like if you don't have any kind of reasons for learning anything, okay, so like you are not gonna master that thing, nah. You are not gonna learn that thing. Maybe you can learn, but it will take a very, very, very long time, nah. But if you have a very strong why, the purpose of learning that thing, so you it will be very easy. Whenever you feel like you are distracting from that path or learning anything, so like again that region will push you ahead, it will bring you back into your path, right? And it is very important for discovering our why of why, that why do you want to do anything. Okay, so I would always say the same thing, that if we want to learn spoken English, so try to write down all those things, na, that what is the reason for learning that thing, na. In 2 pages, like in 1 page, you can write down all the benefits, na, what are you going to get after learning this thing, this language. And also like all the regions, you have to write down all the thing, that what kind of changes you are going to see into you as well as around you after learning this language. So as well as like in second page, you can also write down all those things, like which can be like, if you don't learn these things, so what kind of things you are gonna lose, nah. Maybe you are gonna lose lots of opportunity, you are gonna face lots of same, nah, embarrassment, and also lots of things. You are not gonna have the master of good personality or confidence person. So you have to write down all those things, and by that way, like when
Exactly.
you read that same thing for multiple times and write down those things, I can say like for at least like 21 times, so that it will get inside your brain, it will instill into your brain, and it will always help you to go ahead. Always try to write down the same thing again and again, try to affirm those things, so that it will always motivate you. So it is very important to do those things, and if you have very strong voice, so nobody can stop you in this world, and you are gonna learn it, you are gonna master it. And so one more thing I would like to ask you, because your pronunciation, the way you are speaking, or your accent, it is like amazing, it is fabulous, okay, outstanding. So I would
Thank you.
also like to know from your side, because there are many people, I also, na, means I can speak English, I know how to speak, I can understand, I also listen to podcast, I also watch English movies, everything, okay, but my accent is not up to that mark, okay, and I also want to work on my accent. So how can I get that type of accent which you have right now, okay, as well as like pronunciation? So please let me know.
Well, coming back to the accent and pronunciation, if you want to develop it, there are five aspects. Let me spill the beans about these aspects of this question you have asked me. Number one
Yeah.
thing, honestly speaking, I don't think so. Like, I do have any accent. It's my neutral way of
Okay.
speaking, and I hope you
Okay.
can feel a massive difference between the way native speaker speaks and the way I'm speaking right now.
Yeah.
Second
Okay.
thing, I would say I always try to give importance to pronunciation over accent. Why? Because accent has some limitations. Those people who
Correct.
are having different accent could be understood by only those people who are acquainted with the same accent. For example,
Yes. Yes.
if I have American accent and I'm going to speak English in American way, so those who are acquainted with this American accent, they are the person who can understand me. But what about the rest of the people? They can't understand me. So what is the point of learning an accent? Because we consider English as a language. Why we are learning? I don't know what's your original language, but if I want to talk in Marathi, I don't know. I can't speak in
Yeah.
Telugu. I can speak in Urdu. I can speak in Odia. But yes, English, being a global language, will allow you to connect with yourself with anyone around the world. No matter which language do you follow, but you can connect with. So that's the reason I do emphasize on pronunciation, because if you have a correct and accurate pronunciation, it could be understood by every single person, no matter from which part of globe he or she belongs to. Now, third thing is that if you want to improve your pronunciation, just try to read aloud. Just try to select only one accent for yourself. Try to learn the word stress rule, like syllabic rule, and try to listen those authentic speakers which you consider that they are really good in pronunciation. because the more you are going to listen to them, your ears are being trained in order to listen correct pronunciation of different words, and you are going to pronounce the words in the same way as they have been pronouncing, right? The fourth point, if you literally want to adapt and acquire an accent, there is no big drill. You have to follow some steps. For example, you have to listen to those native speakers a lot. You have to watch their videos. You have to follow shadowing technique. You have to go through the IPA of that particular accent which you want to learn. Now, you have to follow the connected English rules where the people are just merging two sounds and producing new sound. Sometimes they eliminate the sound. Sometimes they add some sound. Like there are some stuff like intuition, assimilation. I don't want to go on the deep of this because this is a very vast topic. And last but not least, I would say you should cultivate a very neutral accent for yourself. You don't need to sound like someone else. You yourself have a very beautiful speaking English, and you have to stick with it. However, you can polish it as much as possible if it is possible for you, because the more you work on your pronunciation, the better you sound. And I've been talking to many native speakers around the world, like from the United States, from United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and the way I'm speaking right now, I usually speak in the same way. In fact, I've seen many times like when in Indians are connecting with them and they are talking with them, they can understand, right? So if we are understandable in our own accent, why we do need to adopt any different accent? Isn't it? By having our neutral accent, we
Correct.
can connect with our people as well as people around the world. So it's okay to be on our accent. That's all I said. Yeah.
Yes, 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 you are totally correct. Like whatever you said, like it is really admirable, like it is amazing. And I also think the same thing, like if you want to learn any kind of language na, or anything, like okay, if we want to develop the personality, good personality, and so we should try to watch that type of people whom we like na. When we keep watching those people, so automatically their body language, their way of talking will get into us na. So it also happens with many people, and it is really amazing thing you told today.